Hello, Autoflower World Cup fam. My name is Arnau, and we are here again. We are here with the Autoflower World Cup 2025 edition. As you know, guys, it's happening this March, and today we're gonna have a very special guest, Dr. Choice. Guys, for everybody who's connecting now and don't know who is Dr. Choice, Dr. Choice is the original OG, the guy who created the Autoflower World Cup. No, sorry, not the Autoflower World Cup, the Autoflower strains. It changes the world. It changed how we see nowadays all the cannabis strains, no? Because we used to have indica, sativa, now we have autoflowers. For all of you, what is the basic things of autoflower? For all of you that don't know, is particularly strains that don't work with the classic 12-12 light cycling. So, it changes automatically the lights from the growing air stage to the blooming stage. A game changer, yeah. The really something that we really love. This is very good for all the growers that, for example, have a small space or they don't have much time to take care. So it's easy because it goes like automatic, no? I like the name say. So hello everybody. Thank you for connecting. Thank you for all these waves. I don't know if all of you are interested in compete or are interested to join this event, but guys, I want to invite you because this March we're gonna have a great edition, many surprises. As you know, we will do it here at the OG Club, that's where we are today. Yeah, if you want to ask something, we are waiting Dr. Choice to enter. Dr. Choice, I said to you, is like the guy who created these new strains, the Autoflower, and it's something as easy, as simple as they cross it with Ruderalis. Ruderalis is a land race that has this short photo period, so they start to cross with this strain and they created all this universe that we have nowadays, Autoflower World Cup, that I have today to say that at the beginning, like many years ago when it started, was not like strong flowers. Everybody knows it, no? Was like a little bit like not compact and not solid flowers, but nowadays the game changed completely. This evolution really fast that we saw is incredible, and we have nowadays really good flowers. It's very difficult to know if it is regular seeds or autoflower seeds. And what we have seen also during all these years, there's a lot of large facilities there starting to do some tests and and running some rooms full of autoflowers, because at the end it's faster, no? It's a good production. What else you want, no? You get more batches during the year. Don't you have WhatsApp? Yes, we have WhatsApp, but not for the Autoflower World Cup. If you guys want to ask something, you can just shout it out here. Thanks everybody for connecting. We are waiting. One? No, not yet. We just accepted the request. Let's see if he's joining soon. Happening. Yeah. Here we have the man, the OG behind the Autoflowers. How are you, Sasha?
I'm good. I'm good. Nice to see you. I'm just. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay
Yeah. I can
here?
hear you well.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent.
How is everything?
Um, things are pretty good. I wish I could see you. Right now, I'm just looking at my own face.
Okay.
Um,
If you want, you can switch the cameras, and you can like that. You can see me. You got a little bit bad connection. Okay, guys, I think we lost momentarily our friend, our judge from this edition, Sasha. Okay, he's back. He's back. He is back, guys. Hold on, because the show must go on. Let's see if he reconnected. Yo, Sasha, you are back.
Yo, sorry
Don't
about
worry.
that.
Better
Cool.
now?
So, how was that?
Very nice.
Yeah, it's the same, but it doesn't matter. We can
Okay,
talk.
no worries. We can talk. Okay, first of all, welcome back to the Autoflower World Cup family for this edition 2025. You will be one of the VIP judges. What are the vibes for this year? How do you see it?
Well, I'm pretty excited about it. It gets better every year, and last year was just amazing. The quality of the samples and the amount of samples. So yeah, it's always exciting. The only I wish I could like take these samples home to Canada and try them all year round. So it's intense, I can tell you that, having to test all those varieties in a short time, but it's a challenge.
Absolutely agree with you. The level of last year, bueno, and the level each year is going higher, higher, and higher. And yeah, it's tough because it's short days. With the span of this week, there is like I don't know, I think last year was like around more than 50 entries, so it's sick. It's crazy. I want to ask you, as the OG
Yeah.
of the Auto Flowers and the mind behind the Lowrider strain, what inspired you to start this revolutionary breeding?
Um, well, I guess it started off like number one, growing up, in Canada, I was introduced to weed pretty early and weed growing. I grew up on a farm, and so yeah, I was always interested in genetics, in different breeds, and it started out, I guess. Well, we have a relatively short summer here in Canada, so it's a
Wow.
challenge to grow. You can't just grow any type of genetics, and so I guess it was partly just trying to find things that were really quick flowering, and really it started with it wasn't actually my discovery at first. It was a friend of mine that I had this variety that was like ready in the middle of the summer, and nobody else had anything to smoke at that time. So
Uh-huh.
I thought it was really cool. It ended up being something also. I moved around a lot when I was
Oh,
young,
nice.
and I ended up being in an apartment, so I was just looking for something compact. Me, some friends of mine too. That's kind of what the goal was, just to, like, try find something that's really fast and easy to grow. And yeah, it started out there, so I guess I had an eye. I was looking for it, and after a few different experiments, well, I've told the story before about how a lowrider was discovered, but it took a long time before we understood what we had. And at the beginning, it was just something. Whoa, it was something really cool. We didn't really necessarily see big commercial applications. We weren't thinking in those terms. It was just something really cool. It's kind of like a bonsai, if you want to compare it to that. It is like a novelty,
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
different,
Something.
something cool that you could,
It's
yeah.
incredible, no? Because it's like
I mean,
magic, no? It's this something. Wow.
yeah,
How do you, how
exactly,
how
exactly.
do you
It's like,
crack this code? No. How do you arrive to do? Wow, bam! We found this. Wow.
well, it's just through, you know, you can read books all you want and know your genetics, but really what how I learned was through a little bit of trial and error. It's just kind of like the scientific method. I didn't know how the genetics worked at first, but it was through playing with it that I came to understand what, and I did a little bit of reading, understanding what like a recessive gene is. And, I did a lot of reading on, luckily my father was into
Wow,
growing
wow.
and he had some good books when I was young. Um, that's another thing. He got in trouble one year when I was just young. I wasn't even a smoker yet. I think I was like 15, 16. I was starting to help my father watering his plants. I thought they were really nice. He had this Colombian strain that was like, they were like 10 foot tall. They got so tall that you could see them behind the chicken house.
Wow.
And that year, unfortunately, my father got like, somebody called the police because they were
The
just
classic
so huge,
motherfucker,
right?
yeah?
Exactly. And it was good stuff, though. I wish I still had those genetics that my father had back in the day. But yeah, so part of the goal with Lowrider, it says it in the name, is something low profile, something that won't get you into trouble. It's easy to hide. It's like stealthy. You can grow it in your garden without your neighbors really knowing,
Yeah.
you
Don't
know.
even
You,
realize what is that,
and
yeah?
I exactly, and you're harvested before people normally are thinking about it.
You don't
So,
even have time
it's
to
just
realize
a
what is that? What
new.
is that? Is cannabis? Is not? Oh, ciao. There's no, there's no more plan. Okay.
Exactly,
Can you explain us a little bit
exactly.
the story behind this low rider for all the people who's watching now and the people who will watch later? What happened in there?
What happened? Well, it was like it's a little bit of a long story, but in resume, it started out like I was playing around with several different genetics, and I was a grower in the summer. I was really interested in weed and all things cannabis. Um, I even uh, I even went to Poland. I had an opportunity to study about hemp in my early 20s because Canada was looking to legalize hemp for industrial uses, and that became a way for me to like look for a legitimate job or a way to make a living uh, with cannabis. Of course, um, in Poland they didn't have any. It was all about industrial hemp. But the second year I was there, they let me do some experiments. They gave me a little place in the greenhouse, so I had a little bit of a legal experiment, probably the first one on on drug cannabis in Poland. And I was testing out a lot of my different varieties there. I had brought all my seeds with me, my collection of
Okay.
seeds. This seeds that I was telling you about from Antonio, uh, this Antonio gave me these seeds he called Mexican ruderalis, and they were just part of my collection. Me and my friends had crossed it with a couple different things. We crossed it with Northern Lights, which was Northern Lights number 2, which was a good plant for growing in a small closet or whatever. But it was just part of my collection there, and so it became something that was. It wasn't yet autoflowering. We didn't really understand what autoflowering was yet, but it was just part of my collection. And the parents, I ended up crossing those seeds again with Williams Wonder. So I collected a lot of data during this trial, and I knew this had potential, but we didn't really understand what we had until um, I was back in Canada, and now I was growing in my friend's basement, and we've planted several varieties, but specifically we planted these seeds, the Northern Lights, uh, Mexican ruderalis cross, and it was also crossed with Williams Wonder.
Wow.
So it had a lot of things in it. But what happened was, like, because it was the second generation cross, the actual auto-flowering genetics from the Mexican ruderalis came back. So they were like,
More present.
we had like, yeah, we had like some very strange plants. And what it was like, we were just starting our plants under fluorescent lights, you know, in his basement, little seedlings. And we had some after less than 3 weeks, maybe a quarter of the plants were like starting to, they looked like they were starting to flower. They were starting to develop male flowers. So this is like a very strange thing, right? It's seedlings. They haven't gone into vegetative growth or anything, and they're already flowering under 24 hours of
Wow.
light.
Wow.
So, I mean, they were kind of like weirdos. It probably happened before to other people, and they just said, "Oh, these are weird plants,"
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
So
we
this
got
is not
rid of
good
them.
town, no? And
But
discarded, no?
we did that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, because they existed, and we didn't really invent them, right? These genetics existed in nature or in the world. But what we did, I guess, like we thought it was really cool. So we got rid of everything else, and we just kept those ones that were like they're flowering right away. We crossed those together, and that became the first generation of lowrider. We called it like I called it Willie's Automatic at first, because we're like, wow, it flowers automatically. You don't need to put it under 12 hours of light or whatever. And of course, we grew them in pretty small pots back then because we just looked at it as a small plant. We didn't
The
realize
potential
that,
of putting in a
like
big
today,
pot,
we
no?
know bigger pot, the more you give it, the more it can give back, right? But we were talking about like in the beginning, the plants were like, for example,
This
this
size.
no
Yeah.
bigger than this size, and so that next generation, yeah, we were like, we got 100% of these plants were miniature and they're flowering right away, and we did a crop and it was really good. It was really tasty. It had some of the flavor of Williams Wonder, which was one of my favorite strains. That first generation was really good, but we only produced a few seeds before then we realized there's a market for this. We got in touch with some seed companies that were interested, and we were like, oh, we got to produce more of these, and we're only talking about in the hundreds of seeds, not thousands of seeds yet.
Yeah,
So yeah,
compared to
from there it,
nowadays, no,
it
there is
went pretty
millions
quick.
of millions, no. It's a big change.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, I prefer to produce on a small scale. But yeah, well, in the last few years, people have been there's a lot of seed out there, that's for
That's for
sure.
sure.
There's a lot of speculation too. People saying, "Oh, I'm going to produce 1 million seeds," and it just what it does is just drives the price down. A lot of times the
Yeah,
quality isn't
quality,
good,
most
but
times
people
it's
have
low.
to sell it anyway. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's talk a little bit about the Dr. Choice family. It's a family that connects all the growers around the world. No, how important is this nowadays in the cannabis community and in the cannabis culture? How do you see this?
Well, it's a really important part of who we are, what makes us different at Doctor's Choice is like, so we do a little bit of mentorship. Some growers that perhaps are on the path of developing their own strains or doing their own sort of projects, and we can take them under our wing a little bit, because we started small too. And it's a little bit of a different niche for us, is actually helping people produce their own seeds or maybe their own varieties, because we see that as beneficial for us. I mean, we're not strictly trying to, we're selling seed, but we're also encouraging people to try it for themselves. It's something that's cool. Develop your own breed. We can help you out with that. That's the concept behind you know, uh, the DC family. And so, it's not a huge program yet because it requires we've got a couple dozen guys that are signed up onto that, and because you know our unfortunately we don't have unlimited resources. We still function on relatively small scale. We're not industrial
Okay.
producers here, so it's better to we can't do everything ourselves, and we're connecting horizontally with other growers who willing to share information with us and perhaps develop the new big thing. Uh, so yeah, anybody who's interested in our program, check it out on our website or uh, send me a message and you can sign up. We have a program where we run our own little bit of contests
Okay.
in terms of like
Nice.
uh,
Nice, nice,
grow
nice.
reports and yeah, actually, the prize for the one of our one of our the growers within the program is actually going to be coming to winning a trip to Canada, spend time with me and our come to our family festival. I don't
Wow.
know if you know, but we have a music festival here in Canada in Quebec called Shazam Fest, and
Okay. Wow. To everybody who's watching this is a bomb, no? For the winner. Incredible.
yeah, it's pretty interesting. And actually, through the program, I've already made some really close friends. Some of whom have already come here and visited. Um, Shout out to Skinny Talls,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's great because for me, I live out in the country. I'm a little bit of a I'm not in the middle. I feel like I'm not in the middle of the action. I come to Spanish, I come to Autoflower World Cup, and it's like it's like another
Yeah.
world, you know? It's my other life. But so it's nice to be able to connect, you know, even if we're in different countries, different places,
You've been
you
a
know,
very
create a
important member of the
community.
Autoflower World Cup, and I appreciate this another year that you're coming to. This is really a
Uh,
dream for us, and I want to ask you, how do you see the evolution with the years of the event of the Autoflower World Cup?
um, the sorry, you were saying the pollution?
The evolution. Sorry.
Uh, the the evolution of it. Uh, it's the evolution of it has been it's gone up significantly every year from being unknown to being an important event. But it's still the same event. It's still happening at the OG
Yep.
Club, and it's got a good, you know, good feeling. I look forward to seeing you and a lot of friends there this year, this season. It's I see it's amazing to think back when, you know, autoflowers didn't really have the respect that they have today, and it
Yep.
was only a few years ago, and Autoflower World Cup really helped bring that. It's not even a question anymore, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely
It's
agree.
just
What do you think will be
yeah.
next in the autoflower field? What do you think will be the next big change, or are you working something, or are you seeing something that would change again the game, or will revolution again this autoflower industry?
Hmm. That's a good question. It's hard to say what's going to be the next big thing. I think there's so many players now in the genetics game, but um, it's all over the map. Like there are no guarantees of quality for the consumer. I'd like there to, but it's going to become more and more necessary for there to be some kind of like better testing or third party testing, especially now when we're hearing about these new viruses coming out. And Germany has now, you know, is
Now it's
going
legal. there.
towards
It's the door
legalization.
for Europe, no? How do you see these two?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Germany, they when they're if they're going to do it, they want to do it right, and hopefully they'll learn from some of the lessons from places like Canada and
US, Spain.
and it's exactly Spain. Takes some of the good things from. There's some really good things about how it is the situation in
Yeah.
Spain, just for personal consumption. But on the other side of things, there's no protection for
We're in the
growers.
limit
It's
here in
still
Spain.
underground, and nobody likes to talk
We
about
like,
it.
in Spain, people like to be in the, in the limit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, it's different. Definitely in Germany. I hear. I mean, there's room for small seed producers, and but I think there's going to be um, differentiation. Like some of the bigger players are going to just be coming down hard uh, with like because there's a lot of varieties out there, but
The
what
industry is
we're
growing all
missing
the
is a way
time.
to
The industry is
really,
and since many years it's growing. So it's normal, no? This changing of the market now. There's a space for everybody, as you said, for small growers and big companies. It will change, no? It will take this evolution, no?
yeah, exactly. I would like to see there being more testing, like quality control, where the consumers know what they're
It's
getting.
important, this, yeah.
Uh, but I mean, yeah, for sure. So, but where there is room, I'll tell you, in autoflowers, it's not over yet. Like there's still a lot of work to be done, and I'm doing a little bit of it. I'm trying to develop stronger strains, 27, 30% THC. Okay, autoflowers. We're getting there, but also I'd like to see more stability. Like the problem with the market today is like everyone wants to put out. It's like a fashion. It's like the music industry. They're always putting out something new with it. It sounds good. It's got a good name, but they don't have time to test it because everything's marketed so
Market
quickly.
is going
So
fast.
yeah, it's faster and faster with social
I
media
agree.
and everything. Like it's always about the next big thing. It's hard to keep up, you
I
know.
agree. Okay, Sasha. So thank you so much for being with us with Autoflower World Cup fam. I cannot wait to see you again
Mucho
back here
gusto.
in Barcelona at the OG this March 2025. To see all friends, to see all the strains, to see all the entries, to see how is the level this year, to see the fire, and why not to have a little bit of fun also together.
Yeah, I look forward to it, man. Pues muchas gracias y nos vemos pronto en
Yeah,
Barcelona, ¿no?
muchas gracias a ti. Much love, and we're counting the days. Spanavis Autoflower World Cup is here again.
Yeah. See you in
See you in
Spanish at the
Spanish. Thank you,
Autoflower
everybody
World
who's
Cup.
watching. It was a great moment with you, Sasha. We shared cool moments, cool stories. I hope everybody learned a little bit more. And yeah, let's continue the game. See you at the Flower World Cup March 2025. Let's go.
Peace. Thanks, man. Take care, everybody. Thank you.